Alright. Do you want me to talk about Mr. Mercedes or not?
If you wish.
Fuck you, I found it.
Let's do it in whispers, man. Come on.
Okay. So,
Come on, we're reading Stephen King.
the last book is called End of
Let's
Watch.
not actually do that.
Okay. I wasn't
book
sure
is
if
called
you meant
what?
it for real or not. End of Watch.
You thought I actually meant we should whisper a book review.
This
While
is the
playing
best type
Call
of
of Duty.
ASMR.
It's probably not the strangest thing I've ever said. It's called what? End of Watch, right? Because they're finders keepers, and now he's like being a private eye
First
man.
one is Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah.
Second one is Finders Keepers, which is like the establishment of the Finders Keepers.
Yeah,
Like,
private eye
that's what they call
business.
their private eye business.
See.
I
I
still feel like the second book could have probably.
Yeah, you thought it was weak, huh? Oh, that's right. We're getting it. How are you not excited about this one? This one you like the most.
This one was so good.
Yeah.
So like immediately you jump in and it's just immediate movement forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't matter how you feel about it. This book has absolutely no slowdown. Sorry, I didn't mean to cross you.
That was hilarious. It
Uh,
did eat one of them, but it's okay.
This book has no slowdown, no red button, no yellow light.
Uh-huh.
It is go straight to jail. Behind you, side.
It's okay.
I don't
All the
really
DJ Khaled's are in the hizzy.
know. I still haven't seen a DJ
I
Khaled.
blasted one as he came up the stairs. Sorry. Go on. You know, I get excited about shooting DJ Khaled's down.
Poor DJ.
That is not a factual statement or a threat.
It's just a skin in Call of Duty.
Your Honor. Alright. What the hell happened in your book?
So, we'll call this the quick summary since.
Yeah, you're supposed to start with a quick summary. We spoke about this.
Oh yeah, that's
At
what
our meeting.
You want to do like a cold opening?
No.
That's not what you call it.
I literally called it that when we talked about it, yes. And then I'm going to act like that was crazy when you say it. But only because I don't mean like a super long one. Because I know I mentioned like sometimes they can get super long. I'm like,
Very
but no.
quickly.
Holy
Last time I
fucking fire,
teased
bro.
that a certain villain that we thought was dead is not
Mhm.
dead.
Yeah.
So Brady's back.
Brady, the one who ran
Back
over everybody
again.
with the Mercedes,
Brady's back.
who tried to blow up.
Don't tell your friends.
Oh, I just flashbanged myself.
You know, sometimes you make good decisions and sometimes you flashbang yourself. So
Flashbang
Brady's
you.
been in a
Keep it up.
catatonic state, or like a vegetable
He's a
state,
vegetable.
supposedly.
Supposedly.
Rumors are
as we
going
say.
around that shit's been happening in the hospital, like things in his room move by themselves.
That white boy crazy.
Actually, legitimately, they're like, that white boy is haunted.
Yeah. That's a DJ Khaled. What do you mean you didn't run into DJ Khaled?
That's DJ Khaled?
I guess he doesn't look like it upon review. I don't know. He just looks fat and he got a beard.
That is
And,
not DJ Khaled. That is some random white man.
He the best. Anyways. Brady ran over a bunch of people with his Mercedes. He's the Mr. Mercedes killer.
No,
Then
it
he
wasn't his Mercedes. It
Well,
was
you're
a
right. He stole
Mercedes
the
that he stole.
Mercedes, and that's the whole plot.
But he ran over a bunch of people. He was gonna get away with it. Then he made the person whose car he stole commit suicide, and then he tried to make the detective that was the detective of his case, which is our main character, Bill Hodges, commit suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Failed. In failing to make Bill commit suicide, Brady ends up getting all pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Accidentally kills his mom.
Yep.
Decides he's gonna go and destroy, or like basically suicide bomb
Yeah.
like
The kids'
it's
concert.
like the
a
equivalent
kiddie.
of like One Direction, so
Yeah,
it would have been
yeah.
a bunch of like tweens.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bill Hodges, along with his new best friends, Holly, Gibney, and Jerome Robinson, they team up. Jerome's 17, by the way. Yeah,
I just love
definitely
how
not
you
supposed to be involved in this shit.
you can't remember an Asimov name for nothing. You know these guys on a first and last name. Go
I
on.
do.
Go on.
Are you trying to say something?
Yeah, that you turned me on the fact that Asimov naming things is kind of funny.
It's the names he picks are ridiculous. Okay, it's not my fault. Like
It's true.
I'm reading the second book and one of the characters is like Bestia or something or
I know.
Betsia or I'm like, why? Why
I'm
couldn't
literally self-conscious about it listening to it around you now, where I'm like, oh my god, that's another dumb name.
yeah, like Deucer Burr or some bullshit.
All right,
like,
keep it on your book.
okay. Anyway. So they sabotage his little plot to destroy everything.
Mhm.
In order to do this, Holly runs up behind him with a literal sock of ball bearings
Mm-hmm.
and bashes his brains in.
That old happy slapper. She beat his whole face and skull in
She
a
literally
lot. That
smashed
the other
his
guys
skull
were
in and
like
kept beating.
now morally offended for the poor would-be suicide bomber.
Who's morally offended?
The Jerome was like, what the man?
No, Jerome.
He was in the book. He was like, Jesus, calm down, Holly. Like,
Well, he was just like, Holly, you got him. It's alright.
yeah.
You don't have to
He's
kill
like
him. Like,
breaking
he's
his
down.
cheekbones and skull.
Because she's,
and
imagine
everything.
she's just going like,
Yeah. Because she was living her trauma, but she used that trauma to destroy a bomber.
And like in every single book, whenever it's brought up, she's like, and I would do it again and again and again.
I didn't know that. That's cool. I didn't get to that one. Yeah, I only read book 1 and 2. Yeah, no, I
You
got
read like
into
part of 2. I don't think you.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But not at
Um,
all 3. So, go ahead.
So Brady's been in the hospital. There's rumors that weird shit's happening. Bill was going and visiting him for a while and like fucking with him, and like literally he went to his room and was like, there's like a picture of his mom, and Bill was like, oh, your mom was hot. I can see why you were into her and da da da. Stuff from go back to book 1 video. And you'll know why.
It's what you think, what it sounds like.
But it is. It's exactly what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So Brady had like used his telekinetic powers to like knock the picture of his mom over.
Mm-hmm. He uses what now?
He literally, because I said the word wrong.
No, you got it. I'm just laughing at like you just dropped that this guy has telekinetic powers so casually.
Yeah, because
like,
I was
like he flipped the switch, like and then he uses fucking psychic
that's
powers.
how it feels in the book. Like it goes 0 to 100.
Mhm.
I don't remember. So I read this book a little. At this point, I've read like
Two
almost
books
2 other
since then,
books
yeah.
since then. But you basically like very very quickly. Brady is taking up a lot of space in this book, and you kind of just jump into it. And he's like, yeah. So while I was here, the doctor was using some weird ass experimental medications on me.
Yeah.
And we don't know if it's this medication or if it was Holly bashing his brains in.
Mm-hmm.
But basically he just wakes up and he realizes that he has like the power to do very subtle things. Like he can move light things. He can't close doors. He figures that if he practices enough moving things like a muscle, it'll get stronger and he will be able to. But he can like turn the faucet on and off, which he does to fuck with the nurses.
That seems hard.
He can like hit the blinds and make them like
All right.
shudder, like if
Entry
someone,
level
like,
ghost behavior.
yeah,
That seems easy.
He can make the sheets that, because he's basically like he's at a point where he's doing physical therapy but he can't really move much on his own.
Yeah.
So he makes the sheets do like a weird wave, like if something rolled,
Okay.
like a wave
Yeah.
rolled on under the sheets. And it's like the kind of shit that makes all the nurses nervous. Because, like, he'll do that shit while they're in there, like, giving them a sponge bath or, like, changing them or, like, I don't know, just doing
Yeah,
whatever.
they just see this weird, I don't know, ripple effect on the...
Yeah, and, like, he makes that little picture of him and his mom fall over.
Mm.
And he literally does it. He literally says, I do it because I like to scare people.
Yeah. Oh, hell no. They all sound white, but I'm just laughing at... If you watch any supernatural stuff...
the nurses actually do have a...
Black comics that make fun of this and how much Like whether it's magicians, like David Blaine and shit. There would be
Okay.
some very
Why?
animated
Okay.
responses to this crazy ass mass murdering white boy with telekinetic powers.
I almost wonder, like, I wonder if I should see what I highlighted in that book. Like what notes
Don't tell me I
what
saw
random
it.
things I highlighted. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Brady's doing all this shit, and you're probably wondering, like, that's
Is
weird.
it Brady?
Like,
Is it Brittany?
yeah, that is Brady. It is 100% Brady. And
Yeah, no, I
Brady's,
thought you said Brittany. I was
no,
thinking-
Brady. Brittany's a different book.
Oh, shit.
End of watch. So, you're probably wondering, that's weird. Like, wouldn't the doctor have realized that there's all this brain activity and that
Yeah, if he's the one
this
that was injecting
psychopath-
them, then why?
yeah, like
Is he not monitoring any
wouldn't
progress?
they be doing brain scans on him or
Yeah.
something? Yes. And actually, I don't even know how. Let me think of how I want to lay this out. So, upon learning about his telekinetic power, he's like basically in the hospital trying to make sure no one knows that he's actually 100% in his head and could be tried for these murders, but definitely putting on an air of like, nope, I'm still just a vegetable, you can't try me,
Yeah.
I ain't going to jail, or I'm just gonna live
He
my
doesn't
life.
speak. He doesn't. Obviously,
He-
doesn't
he
move.
does
He doesn't
like,
speak. Yeah.
Like, more corn please.
Oh, really? He can get out like phrases?
Like you literally can't understand. It's
Okay. But he's trying to talk.
he could speak 100%, but he
Oh, okay. It's just so garbled.
no, like he's putting on an act to
Oh, the whole time?
yeah, no,
Oh,
he can
shit.
100%.
Spoiler alert.
He's functioning. How do I know this? So what had happened was, this guy that they call Library Al,
Mhm.
he's like, this orderly that goes around and he like gives books and like reading tablets to the different patients. And he had found out, like, on one of these tablets is this game called Fishing Hole.
Mhm.
And the game is like it has like a demo screen that's like super relaxing, and since Brady can't like play anything because he can't move his fingers, he doesn't have what's it called, like control,
Yeah.
whatever.
Fine motor movement.
Yeah, he doesn't have fine motor control
Skills, yeah, fine
anymore,
motor.
or whatever.
Mhm.
And they're not even sure he's even in there, so
Yeah.
like he's like, all right, I'll just give him this tablet with this demo screen and that's got this like nice music, and he can just
Turn him into a tablet
chill.
kid. They just plop him in front of a tablet.
Yeah, he did. He popped him in front of the tablet. But what happens
Mhm.
is that while Brady's watching this tablet, Library Al is also looking at the tablet, and like he goes into this relaxed state that he has in the past, and Brady's able to enter his mind.
Old LSD kicked in from Woodstock.
Well, all right, I'll explain that when we get to it. So, well, I guess I could just get to it now. So it turns out later while Holly is looking into it,
Mhm.
she finds out that the Fishing Hole game it's been reported to have mild hypnosis type.
Yeah, hypnotic effects.
Yeah, like because of these little fish that like go by the screen, the
So they're
speed that
aware
they
of
go
that.
at, and like the music. There is a very like a few people had reported actually feeling like they'd been hypnotized by the game.
So the CIA was a early seed investor.
Basically. So Brady realizes that through this tablet he might be able to go into other people's
I
minds.
can't believe I forget this, but this is this is an actual program that they entertained, brainwashing people through video games, like in the 80s. So you gotta think like how simple were those video games? I think they did it on the West Coast. I forget where. Was it Portland? That'd be hilarious for where Portland is.
That's cool. I actually did like highlight stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking. I see her notes. She got a
That's
whole
cool.
tablet here with all her little notey notes.
Well, I have a Kindle. Shout
Yeah.
out to Kindle. So Brady realizes that he can hypnotize Al, and then he actually also, I don't remember if this is before or after when he first is able to jump into Al, but there was another nurse that on a different occasion, she was like looking out at the parking garage and the cars were going by, and it's written that she has a small epileptic attack, like she just kind of like isn't there for a second, and Brady actually goes into her mind. And that's like one of the first times he takes over someone. So when Al brings him the tablet, he's like, oh, okay, I'm starting to realize that like if their mind is like open to me, I can go in, but if they're like hypnotized and I'm looking through the tablet becomes like a door through which I can enter these people's minds.
But is it just because they're in a hypnotic state? Because if the epilepsy thing did it too.
The epilepsy, I think, just made her like susceptible to it.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of the tablet, it actually is like a connecting, like he is able to use the tablet to like locate you through the tablet. Like it connects you guys.
Yeah. Okay. That's just
more than just like she was in his immediate vicinity with like an open mind, so it worked. But in one of the books, it's actually in the, I don't remember if it was the end of the first one or somewhere in the second. Bill goes to visit him, and Library Al at this point, I don't know if you remember, I told you Library Al says something like, oh, not as good as what you can't see, like, because Bill's like, how's it going? He's like, oh, not as good as what you can't see.
And you think he was already in there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was already suspicious
so odd
that something was going on. This is what Brady realizes, since I'm jumping around, is that through the tablet he can get into people's minds. At first he starts just injecting ideas. So this nurse that he got into in the mind of, he was able to like look through her memories, and he saw that she had this sad upbringing. I think she had been like molested by her like stepdad or dad or something. And I don't know if you remember what Brady likes to do with people that are sad.
Yeah. Pushes them to, what do the kids say, unalive?
Yeah, so that's exactly what...
Instagram friendly?
He started, like, basically, he went into her head and was like, this is all your fault, like, you're unhappy because of this thing that happened to you. You don't realize, but you were asking for it. You put him in that position, like... And he basically twisted this traumatic event that happened to her, so that she would feel that it was her fault, and she ended up committing. She unalived.
She did it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. He told me this.
Brady realizes that he can have. He's gonna be able to do quite a few things.
He can still kill too. Yeah.
Now something else that happens. So he cannot only implant ideas. When he's like hypnotizing Library Al with this tablet and like going into his head, he actually at one point full on takes over Al's body. Like Al takes a back seat, and whenever he does that, he takes over your mind 100%. Like a part of you dies. Like you just start, like the true essence of who you are starts to just disintegrate. So he takes over Al, and at first he's just doing like little random shit, but he doesn't really have a plan. He's just kind of getting the bearings on his new power. Yeah. So at some point he gets a visit. You actually find out how he even got a picture of his mom and him, and it's because his friend Frankie, I don't know if you remember, she's like the lesbian that worked with him.
Oh yeah. At the computer repair.
She found that picture in his desk when they were cleaning out his desk after he was had his brains bashed in. And for some reason, she felt like she should take him the picture. Yeah. I think her mom even told her not to do it or something. No, her mom just always had a saying that no good good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, was he already in the mental mind, like at some level?
At this point he was already doing telepathic shit, and
Yeah.
he's already kind
I'm
of
saying
like,
before he got his brains bashed in, this ability might have been latent. The kid's wackadoo.
That's where the
He's
book is
gotta
never
play with
very clear.
that,
Like,
yeah.
it's unknown whether, because he always had those headaches, so it's unknown whether the medications just helped awaken or push these powers out.
Yeah.
Or if
Because Stephen King knows his
the head bashing did
esotericism
it.
and his
But he made it very like it was guaranteed that something caused.
Yeah, it's like he's possessed. I mean, like I said, I study all these different religions and esoteric thingies and all these different theories on what it is. Oh, it's aliens. Oh, it's gods. Oh, it's spirits. Oh, it's just you. You have these innate abilities, and it's like all these different theories people have for how they're expressed. But it was always in there, and something triggered it to make it come out even stronger. But like you said, if he was already dealing with all the headaches that made him such a wacko mass murdering weirdo.
Yeah, because those headaches only ever left when he was like...
when he did something really fucked up. Right? I mean, even when he was like attacking the kid, when he was going to kill the dog, he started feeling better. When he was like trying to set up the stuff.
Yeah, like anytime he started plotting to do something evil, he felt better.
I can't
or
remember.
if his mom...
Yeah, or
jerked him
yeah, but which is...
Those were the two options.
If his mom gave him the tug in the tub, then he felt better. But
no, it was just in general. But that was
one
not
of
the ways that
tub.
she introduced it.
But I'm saying, like, that's because it's an evil, immoral act. Like, because he just has to do something evil. Or something evil has to occur, I guess. He doesn't have to do it with his mom. Unless you want to go that route. He was fucking with his mom's psyche, even. But I doubt that. You think she was just jacked up from being a single mom for so long and...
She had
just
a
being
weird
a wino.
thing with him from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. She always thought he was like... She always called him honey something.
Honey
I
bear?
don't remember
No?
because it's been a while.
Is it honey bear? I don't know.
Honey bun. Like, basically, like honey bun. Or
Yeah.
honey boy.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
right.
always honey boy. And, like, she didn't call her other son that.
But anyways, I'm getting you off that the kid, the friend, his only friend really from that tech repair place.
She comes and he's like, he smiles at her, and even the nurses are like, oh, he reacted to you. And so she's thinking like, oh, that's nice. What she doesn't realize is that he's coming up with the plan. So as he takes over Al, he also starts to take over...
Yeah, the other nurse, right?
No,
Nurses,
he actually starts to take
guy.
over his doctor. Because what he does is that he knows his doctor's going to be onto him. So he uses Library Al to slip his doctor one of these tablets because the hospital has like 7. First he has Library Al bring all 7 and hide them in his room so that he can just use them. Next he has Frankie. He like writes up the code after he hijacks Library Al. And he has Frankie input like an enhanced hypnotic version of this game into the tablet.
He knows how to do that?
Well, he still remembers. Remember, he was actually still a pretty decent programmer.
Yeah.
Because he was like an IT guy. So he has Library Al basically write the recipe out, and Frankie implements it so that it doesn't look suspect.
Okay.
And then, using this new enhanced version of the hypnotic game, he approaches his doctor, because now he's found out, I think through jumping in through the nurses' minds, but I don't remember how. He finds out about these medications that the doctor is illegally giving him, because like the medications he's giving him aren't FDA approved or whatever.
Yeah. They're not taxpayer approved.
They're not a lot of things. So
yeah.
Sorry, baby check. So he has the doctor, like he has Library Al take the doctor a tablet, and he tells the doctor that he has to play the game. So like the way he rigs it so that it like super starts to hypnotize, like enhanced hypnotizing, is that as you're playing, you're told to look for a pink fish, and the pink fish is like faster than the other fish, but it's like he chose pink because it's like a calming color or some shit. So as you're trying to get the pink fish, you're trying to add them up to a certain number, or you're trying to add all the numbers up depending on what he's asked you to do.
Okay.
And then there's this like extra enhanced hypnotic music in the back.
Increase the hypnotic music.
Basically.
Premium
Hypnotic music in the background.
No ads.
And so that just has you slip into this like super relaxed hypnotic state, and then he's able to enter you. So he has Al give the tablet to the doctor in this like enhanced state, I believe, and the doctor's like, why should I play this game? And he's like, because I'm gonna tell everybody that you've been experimenting on me. So the doctor's like nervous, and he's like,
just
whatever,
fucking put a pillow on your face.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Or I think Library Al told him to play the game or some shit, and that he has to do it because Library Al knows about but he doesn't know that it's Brady inside of Library Al. So he starts playing the game, and then Brady starts taking over the doctor. So Brady now has two people that he can take over. Incognito, because nobody knows that he's able to do this, because who the hell is going to ever believe that you're able to take over?
Yeah.
So what is Brady to do? He's got two zombies.
Is it hard for him to take control, or is there any limit on him?
It is so
super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yeah. But it does take a toll. The more he takes over, the less like themselves they become. Like they start to lose.
Like they gotta be some catch.
And they start to get disconnected. Like they start to get slow.
They seem catatonic weird.
Yeah, they seem weird.
Okay.
Like Library Al, by the end of it, it's just like brain dead. And what he does to the doctor is like horrible.
We'll see if we get there. I remember when you were telling me about this, I was like, all right, obviously they're trying to play this on our detective.
No.
He's been around him this much.
No, Brady just straight up wants to make Hodges pay for everything.
Yeah.
So Brady's idea of making Hodges pay is that he's going to come up with some plan to hurt a bunch of people. And what his plan ends up being...
That's his only plan ever.
Yeah, basically. What he ends up coming up with is that he's mad that all these people from the concert escaped. In his mind, he remembers Bill being the one that bashed his brains in.
Because it was his happy slapper, and he knows that he carried it,
he knows Bill was onto him. Holly was never... Nobody knew Holly even existed.
Yeah.
He knew it was Bill or Jerome, because he knew both of them they were always working together.
Yeah.
Fuck you, guy. Fuck you, Bick.
Fuck you, guy.
So... Get out of here. Dang. Sorry. Shit got intense.
Yeah. Get him.
So what happened was... he found out that the people that created this tablet went out of business. But, because they went out of business, there's all these tablets that are for sale. So he has the doctor, who has a bunch of money because he's literally a brain surgeon, call this company and buy up, I think it was like 1,800 tablets. Of the 1,800, like the reason the company went under was because these tablets were known for like sucking. A bunch of them wouldn't work. 1 star. So of the 1,800, I forgot how many were actually functioning, but it didn't matter. So he buys these tablets, and then he goes to his friend Frankie, and he's like, yo, Frankie, what you doing? And Frankie's like, oh, I kind of suspicious that you're Brady in there, because he goes as like Library Al, or as he starts to name them. Library Al becomes Z-Boy, and the doctor becomes Dr. Z. Yeah. And so they go up.
Well, sorry to break, but didn't the lady that killed herself, she drew a Z, right?
Well, yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay. Whoops.
Well, it's not a spoiler. That's technically kind of how the book opens up, because the book opens that there's been a suicide. Like, Bill and Holly are just doing their normal finders keepers shit, and they had a call from Pete Huntley, Bill's ex partner, when he was a detective, and he's like gonna retire in I don't know how many weeks or some shit, like in a couple months or some shit. But he calls Bill because he's like, yo, I have a weird feeling about this this like supposed suicide that I'm being called out to investigate. I would really like for you and Holly to come because of the connections that there are to the Mercedes killer. So they go out there and they find that there's been a double, it's possibly a murder suicide. The people that lived in the house was a disabled woman who was a victim of the Mercedes killer. She had been hit and became like quadriplegic, right? That's the word.
Yeah.
And then her mom was taking care of her. So they find her that into like her food or IV or something, a concoction of medications were given and she died. And then her mom was found with like a helium, it was like a helium bag, like one of those balloon helium tanks and like a tube to like a bag around her head, because I guess that's like a DIY suicide kit or
Wait,
some
what?
shit.
So that it would lift up? What's the helium purpose?
I guess, I don't know, so she would just get high and die. And she also had like medication in her system.
Okay.
I didn't
Stephen
quite
King with the tips here.
I guess.
What
was
the
like,
fuck
alright.
is this? Is this the new way we're gonna lose our greats?
I guess.
So instead of tying off to a fucking doorknob.
But so she's like in her bathrobe in the tub or some shit. But she's that was the way she went, the mom. So it just looks like, you know, it's a case of like the mom couldn't take seeing her daughter like that
taking
anymore.
care of the paraplegic. She got overwhelmed and just wanted to go out.
But she did, when she died, there's a Z like near her.
Yeah,
like
in her blood, right?
Yeah, I don't remember if it was in her blood or with a marker or something.
Okay.
But there's a Z like near her body. So Pete's partner just really wants to like kind of just chalk this up to murder suicide and call it a day.
Yeah.
Why oh, okay.
Because of the HQ. Yeah.
Wait, 1 second.
Yeah, his old partner.
But
I mean, it looks simple.
Holly's suspicious, and Holly sits down in the chair that the lady had because she's looking around. It doesn't look like there would have been reason for them to murder suicide. Like the lady she happened to be one of those people that like over prepares and took out 4 insurance policies on herself. So when she was hit by the Mercedes killer, like they had 4 insurance policies to fall back on.
Yeah.
So they were well off. They were living
funny, I didn't know you could do that. I was like,
town.
yeah, I guess so if you're paying for them all.
Yeah. So come here. You sucker. I'm such a bad shot.
It's okay.
So Holly's trying to figure this out, and she's looking around because she doesn't trust the detective to do a good job because the detective just wants to close this case. And Holly agrees something is fishy. She doesn't know quite what. So they find a few things. They find this tablet, and Holly can't figure out what the tablet is for, but the tablet's tucked into this chair that the lady used to sit in. Obviously not the lady in the wheelchair, the mom.
Yeah.
So Holly finds that. She finds something else I don't remember, but the important thing is the tablet.
Yeah.
And then they look through the window, and Bill sees that the house across the street is for sale. It happens to be for sale by the same Tom Saubers, which was the dad, and like
from the last one.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That was a struggling real estate agent during the
He's
08 collapse. This all takes
now.
place around 2008. Just for anybody who doesn't know the whole thing.
His career is on the up and up, and he's selling the house across the street. So Bill's like, all right, I'm gonna call him and try to come out and see if he can let me go snoop around the house across the street tomorrow, because all the windows in the house were open.
But what's he thinks the house got to do with anything?
I don't remember how, but I think he suspects that someone was watching them.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. That's why he's a detective.
And Holly suspects something has to do with this tablet, because this old lady had nothing but like magazines.
Yeah,
like,
why
and
does
it
she have
was
this
like all
newish
bullshit magazines,
obscure
like
tablet?
I don't know, interior decor, gossip, people, like
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't a
Generic
avid book
background.
reader, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's not like this lady would sit there and,
I just picture a tablet too, like a kid would have to buy that for.
but it didn't make sense because like it's not like she had like with the types of magazines that were out, Holly didn't feel like she was gonna be a book reader, and like you're not gonna read a magazine. If she's
Hilarious
already
roast.
got the actual magazines, like the tablet just felt, and the tablet was also like this out of date.
Yeah, it's an obscure model too. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's not like the cheapest thing she picked up.
So they end up calling
the
the
Best
house
Buy.
cleaner because they the two, there's like two HHAs that take care of the quadriplegic lady, and they had found the girls like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they already know, but no one called the house cleaner, or not the house cleaner. She's like the sorry, she's like the kind of like maid care.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody called her because she was on vacation and she wasn't there when it happened. So Holly and Bill call her, and she's like, "Oh my
It's a
god, I
rough
can't
Monday
believe
back
it!"
at
Like,
work.
they're like, "Is there anything that would have made you think this makes sense?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "Don't get me wrong. I mean, she had her bad days or whatever. Like, it wasn't perfect, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of love there, and like she was a super happy person even after the accident. Like she
Oh yeah, because they're balling out with the money too.
yeah
Right?
yeah
But-
they're
but
balling
nobody
out with
died,
money,
so
but
why'd they
she
get
also
money?
had a very optimistic like
Yeah.
outlook on life.
But you told me they got in a weird way to like spend time together, and I don't
Yeah,
know, that's
like,
the vibe from when he.
The
me
mom was
before.
like in a weird way, because she also, the girl that got run over, she was like not divorced, but it was either divorced or she had been with someone and it didn't work out. So she's not necessarily like married, or she's single, she's disabled. You would think that like she'd be sad, but she was happy. She was happy she had her mom. She was happy that they could spend time together. Like, they would watch TV at night. They would like talk. She was even taking she was going to be taking like accounting classes or some shit, like some online course. So her mom had bought her like a new computer, and these are not like actions that someone that is going to commit suicide
Yeah, they're planning
takes.
ahead.
Like, yeah, like you know,
They
if
got
you're
things
if
they're
you know that
excited
you
about.
don't want to live, you're not taking no accounting classes
Yeah.
at age 60 whatever
Mm-hmm.
to continue your
Yeah, she had hobbies and
Yeah.
lots of money and
and your mom wouldn't
loving,
be stashing,
supporting
like,
people.
the mom had bought her the computer knowing that she wanted to take those classes, and she had stashed it under the stairs to like surprise her. So like no one committing suicide
Yeah, there's
is
just too much.
stashing a birthday gift ahead of time. Like, these were all things that they discovered. So the cleaning lady was like, "I don't understand, like, this is so devastating for me. Like, I've been with them for like 12 years or some crazy shit. Like, they mean so much to me, and like this has caught me totally by surprise. Like, I would have never ever thought this was something they were even." And she was like, the only thing is that the mom had seemed distracted or like a little heavy, like or distant, but nothing that was red flaggable. Just a little like something was on her mind. And she would play that with that tablet. She would play solitaire a lot. So she would catch her playing with the tablet here and there, but like always.
You had no clue where it came from, right?
No, they did. Some man came, and I believe that he told them they could have the tablet for free if they filled out a survey or something.
Okay.
So they start tracking down this whole tablet thing. Bill,
It's a crappy tablet.
yeah, Bill makes it to go across the street, and Tom gives him a walkthrough of the house, and he's like, "I didn't realize," like, and he's like, "No, I'm actually here because something about this house, like, I'm suspicious that this house is connected to the murder-suicides from across the street." And Bill's like, "Well, you know, you saved my kid, so I owe you one. Letting you walk around this house is the least I could do." So they walk around the entire house. The house looks fine. And he's like, ah, yeah, see, Bill, it's got like an alarm and this and that. Like, I would have known if someone broke in. And Bill realizes that the garage doesn't have an alarm. So they go to the garage and they can see that the door of the garage has been tampered with. So they roll it open and they see that in the back of the garage, like through a window, you can perfectly see.
Yeah.
You could perfectly see into the window of the house across the street.
Okay.
And someone had put a chair to like perfectly look. And they found a Z like on the door.
The hell. So he's
like,
just leaving like a calling card, even just.
Yeah. So things are like we're starting to find the Z and everywhere, right? So in the meantime, in between time, or even before this, Brady's still out on Operation Brady. So he's obtained these tablets and he's having Frankie upload this hacker program into all these tablets. This hypnotic program into all these tablets. Because he really, his idea is kind of giant. Like what he's gonna do is, he's hooking these tablets up, so that. Well, all right. I'm jumping around. Sorry, my thoughts got a little jumbled. He's having Frankie override the tablets so they're all extra hypnotic, and then he put out like on a website, and he had Dr. Z go around and give tablets to a few people, and the website says it's called badconcert.com.
Yeah.
So if
a reference to
when you go to the website, it's like the exact song that Brady was gonna blow up the entire concert to, and then there's an actual explosion, and it's like, oh, did someone mess up your concert? Don't worry, even though the concert's over, we feel bad, so we're gonna give you something for free. If you have proof that you were at the concert, send us a photo, and we'll send you a free tablet.
Yeah, and it's gonna be his way of getting back at all of them.
Yep. So he's all
finishing
these people,
the job.
Like nobody knows, but these people are sending photos and proof that they were at the concert, and they're all receiving tablets. And the tablets come in the mail, and it comes with like a notice that like, if you're able to catch the pink fish, like, or if you hit the pink fish and there's numbers and they add up to this amount, you get this prize. If they add up to this amount, you get this prize. And then the ultimate prize is like a moped. So there's that, and then there's also like another, I don't remember how it's connected, but there's also like a website that he tells people to go to. Oh no, I vaguely remember how it's connected. I'll tell you now. But we'll just leave it at the tablet for a second. So he's got all these tablets and he's sending them out to all these concert goers. He's also having Dr. Z give tablets out, and Dr. Z goes to a specific Barbara Robinson, Jerome's sister, and gives her a tablet. So when she's given the tablet, he hates her
the most.
Well, she's one of the people he hates the most because she's connected to Bill. He knows it would hurt Bill.
Yeah.
She's connected to Jerome.
He was flicking her off as he was about to blow himself up.
She literally escaped because he was trying to blow himself up and looking at her. And it was like one of the last things.
She distracted him in his mind.
Yeah. Like she was one of the last things he saw before his brains were bashed in.
That'll do it.
This is bad. Yeah. That'll do it. So when Barbara gets the tablet, she starts playing this fishing hole game because, that part of the thing is like if you play the fishing hole game, you might get a prize. I don't remember if it was that or if it was by accident, but she starts playing fishing hole and she starts getting these thoughts. Like she starts hearing a voice and she starts getting these thoughts, and she ends up in Lowtown. I don't know if you remember that. Lowtown is like the rougher part of the city.
Yeah, this is cool. We're going to see what it's like when he invades their mind.
Yeah. So, like, as she's walking around Lowtown, she's seeing all these people, and there's like poor people, and there's like crackheads, and there's like
Okay. People
and
with
Barbara is
crack-based personality disorders.
Barbara is ethnic.
So yeah, so she fits in. She's not
Well,
some random.
but she's always been upper
Brady.
middle class because her dad was a journalist.
Yeah.
I forgot what her mom does, or if he just was that good that her mom didn't even have to work.
Mm-hmm.
But they've always been like upper middle class, so she's always been in like private school, and she's always like, she's never lived a life of hardship. So she's walking around, she's seeing all these people living lives that she's not used to. Like this one lady's dragging some kid around, all kinds of people, and like she starts hearing this voice in her head like, oh, wait, I have to sneeze.
Oh no.
I apologize.
What? Oh, okay. I thought that was your sneeze. You got these insane
No.
new mom traits. Being able to conceal your sneezes.
So she literally starts hearing a voice that she's just blackish. She's never been truly black. She's always been.
She don't know the experience.
She's never done anything good for her brothers and sisters out there in the world. That like, she should be doing more. She's not doing enough.
None of us are, sister.
And then she actually like she's walking by and she's like walks by this window, and while she's hearing this voice in her head, that she calls her friend, she sees in the window.
She
like,
calls the voice in her head her friend?
Because she doesn't know who it is. She never got to speak to Brady. She never spoke to Brady, so she has no idea what he sounds like. So when she looks in the window, she actually sees Brady.
No
Brady's
excuse,
standing next to her and like smiling. And
oh boy.
he's like, it would just be better if you just like kill yourself. And she's like, that's a great idea. So she's getting ready to jump in front of a.
But her subjective experience, she agreed. She felt like she
like
agreed. It didn't
she
make
went
sense.
to such a
She
dark
wanted to.
place. Like he is so good, and this is someone that her parents always known her as like happy. Her brother loves her.
Yeah.
Like this is not
kind of
someone
silly, happy-go-lucky, and hardworking, and like just
ambitious,
good head on her shoulders.
Smart. So basically she agrees, and she's gonna like jump in front of a truck, and this random kid like pulls her, or like he kind of like wakes her up for a second from this like weird hypnotic state that she's in, to the point where later he's like, I'm pretty sure she was on drugs.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, you do not look like you're from around here. Because he plays basketball, and he's wearing one of the local schools like logos. I forgot what the school was. I think Todd Hunter or some shit. Doesn't matter. But he's like messing with her and like, what are you doing here? Like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You clearly look lost.
In the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah, like you look lost, kid. So she like gets mad, and then he like takes her tablet, like just messing with her and trying to be flirty, because he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I thought she was cute. So he's just being flirty with her, and she gets mad, and she basically takes her tablet back, and then the tablet like retakes control, and she like does actually jump in front of the next moving car. But this
just
kid,
from grabbing the tablet.
Yeah,
the connection was reestablished.
Yeah, exactly. So, but technically, I think Fishing Hole was still open. So like, it's just as soon as she looks at it, because the hypnosis is so strong that like once Brady's able to get in, like, it's very Star Wars-esque, where like once you've gone into someone's mind, you kind of just have access.
Yeah.
From that one book where the guy was captured, and like the Sith thought that it was a one-way connection, and then he was like backhacking. Do you remember?
With the Reverend?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, so. That's cool. I did not expect that reference. Okay.
So
that's my wife, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for her.
So what happened was Brady basically pushes her, and he's like so happy because he's so sure that she died, because he has to exit. Like, he's never been inside of the body when they die, So he like
boy, what a creep.
He exits back to his
Oh,
body.
he's scared of it. What a bitch.
He's scared that if he's in there when they die,
That's so
he'll
funny.
die with them.
Yeah, it's not a bad theory.
So he exits, and the last thing he sees is Barbara, like, basically knowing she's gonna die. What he doesn't see is that basketball boy, as I now call him.
Yeah.
He had fast reflexes and pushed her so that she didn't actually get hit by the car. She gets basically like clipped.
Yeah.
And instead of dying, she just breaks a leg. So Bill at this point is at the hospital when she's taken, because he used to have connections with the nurses, but the new head of nurse is like a total bitch, and she's basically locked him out. But this other nurse that he knows, that was there when he used to go visit Brady, she's still up for a bribe or two. So she's convinced him to like go out with her for drinks. And she'll give him what info, answer whatever questions he wants answered. Because there's some weird shit going on, and she wouldn't mind talking to him. So while he's getting that info, because he's definitely like at this point things are starting to point to Brady, or like he's suspicious of Brady or something going on. Because it's just too. As they're investigating, they're finding out all these people that are committing suicide, and he always called Brady the suicide prince.
Really? I don't remember that.
Or not always, but I guess in this book.
Well, no, I mean like because he drove people to that.
Yeah, like, and Brady likes to. That's Brady's thing. He tried to drive Bill to that.
Okay,
he drove
yeah.
Olivia Trelawney to that. So, Bill runs up and he sees Barbara as they're bringing her into the hospital, and she like shouts at him and she's like, "Save that boy! They're gonna say that he pushed me, but he didn't. He saved me. Save that boy. I don't know what was wrong with me." And Bill's like, "Ah, shit."
Especially since she has, like you said, no history. She's not on drugs. She's not on.
So Bill actually he pulls a couple strings and calls his old detective friend, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to talk to the kid. Like, he's not in trouble. He actually saved her." And the detective's like, "Yeah, we definitely know he did because a bunch of eyewitnesses say that he helped save her life. But you know, you're cool. Like, I'll hold him so that you can just ask him some quick questions." So when Bill goes to ask him some questions, the kid's like, "Look, I thought she was on drugs. I thought she was cute. I shouldn't have taken her tablet.
Like,
I
those
don't
are
know
my
if
two.
that like taking her tablet, she was just mad and like didn't look when she crossed the street, and that caused the accident. But I saved her." Like, and Bill's like, "All right." And then he actually asks, he's like, "Can you give her my number?" Bill's like, "Give me your number. I'll give it to her. I'll see what I could do."
Yeah.
So Bill's concerned because Barbara's never done shit like that.
Go to the hood.
Funny enough, Jerome is actually not in town. Jerome is off building. Oh no, sorry, that's in Holly. No.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. Is he at college?
He's in college, but he's building houses for Habitat for Humanity, I believe. So Holly had called him. Or am I mixing up the Holly book? No, in Holly he's in New York, and this one he's with Habitat for Humanity in Arizona. And Holly calls him because, like, an undercurrent in all of this is that Bill has freaking pancreatic cancer. And he's dying of it, and
that's what triggered that. That's where he has this mental weakness, this thing that's bothering him, or lowers his, whether that's depression or anxiety about that. That I was like, man, that's gonna be the avenue that this mind splitter boy here is gonna be able to crack open.
Ironically, it
makes him stronger.
It doesn't do any. It doesn't at all do anything. It's just it's used more as like a timer because like. Holly's like, "We can't keep going on with this case. You have to go get treatment so that you can survive pancreatic cancer." And Bill's like, "Oh, Holly, just give me 2 more days," because Bill knows like he's not gonna survive pancreatic cancer. He's like, he knows he'll fight it, but the chances of it are so low. and they've caught it so late. So like throughout the entire book, oh, you know what it is? It's also used as a way to distract them, but not in the way you think. Like literally, there's like a scene where Z-Boy is watching him because they describe Z-Boy as this guy that has like a coat that he's mended with like duct tape, and like a car that's got primer spots all over it. And like there's literally
We don't
one
know
time.
who this is yet, or did I lose?
That's Library Owl, but
Yeah,
taken
okay.
over as.
Yeah, that's what.
But none of the characters know, so they're supposed to be keeping an eye out for him. But literally, Bill, like, he gets the pain from the pancreatic cancer, and he like has to like kneel over or some shit, to like try to help it not hurt so much, and like he doesn't see the car drive by,
Oh my
like
God.
stupid shit. That's what I mean. Like, it's not what you think. It's not that he was becoming mentally. It does mentally tax him, and he does say like maybe it's making it so he can't think as clearly.
I think this is Stephen King playing with divine will again. With what's her name, being bullied and shit is what gave her the motivation, the rage to actually slap the shit out of Brady when he was gonna blow the place up.
He for sure makes it so that the universe throws a bone to the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like.
But he has a whole part where he says it never tips over until I think that's in the first book.
What?
He has a whole part. I forget who's saying it. I think it's Detective Man. That the universe, and him and his partner would talk about that. A detective kind of sits there and lets the universe do its thing.
Yeah.
And they just got to be there to catch like where the bad guy slips up, because the universe seems
eventually
to F with
they
you,
will.
but then it also seems to like put a cap on it. Throughout history, like, how did this guy get into position? But then also, the good guys seem to win, but it's like, but you can't really say, like, the universe doesn't want evil because it allowed the bad guy to get that far in the first place.
No, I can't believe it. I'm talking about End of Watch with Gun Game.
Oh.
It's okay. I'm not going to care if I'm at the bottom.
Yeah. You're okay.
So where was I? So Bill's got pancreatic cancer. So like as soon as he hangs up with Holly, he gets a call from his mom that Barbara's been in an accident, that he needs to come home. So Jerome's like, all right, I gotta go home. So this is how we get the gang back together.
Okay.
So Jerome comes home, and Bill meets up with the nurse, right?
Yeah.
So we find out some interesting stuff from this nurse. One is that the head nurse has recently committed suicide.
Oh. I'm glad I waited on my giggity joke. I might want to see the head nurse. Whoopsies,
like,
now she's the headless nurse.
She's like, it's not like we were best friends or anything, but she ran a tight ship, and I don't peg her for someone that would have committed suicide.
Come on, you're not even doing that on purpose. She's so pure, y'all. You just said the head nurse. She's a tight ship, and I wouldn't peg her. For
I'm just that good.
Yeah. Go on.
I don't even write comedy.
Go on.
So, she's like, what you should do is investigate Dr. Z.
Dr. Z, bro.
Well, she doesn't say Dr. Z.
Dr. Zorro.
His name's Dr. Babineau. Some bullshit.
Yeah.
She's like, investigate him because he's been slipping. Like, the other head nurse that used to be there, she left because she found out about these meds that he's secretly slipping to the patient, and she don't want none of that smoke.
Hell no. No CIA.
Yeah, like she knows, like eventually if anyone ever finds out, they're gonna ask the nurses why they didn't report it.
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't want none of that bullshit. So she left to I think ICU or ER or some shit. Like she changed departments altogether.
Yeah.
And that's when this lady, they called her Nurse Ratchet.
They call her Nurse Ratchet?
Yeah.
What do they mean? What does boomer age Stephen King mean by that?
I think because
I'm making my
she just
jokes.
has a tight ship.
Okay, she ratchets it down. I'm like, that means ghetto and,
Yeah.
ratchet ass nurse.
I don't think he means it like that.
I don't think.
So she ends up committing suicide because she gets mad at Brady because she catches Brady flicking her off. So what she does is she goes into his room when no one's around, and she like twists his balls.
She twists his balls?
Yeah, like the skin on his balls. Or
wow, now I'm on Brady's side.
So what he does is that he sends her a tablet through Al, Library Al, and she kills herself.
Yeah. Our
So
first
now
victim.
we're starting to have all these murders happen, and they're all weirdly associated to Brady. There's also been other people that were like, there's another case where a couple that were injured by the Mercedes killer got married, but they were both disabled, so they both murder-suicided together. Very Romeo Juliet. So they suspect that's a Brady thing too. This is why, like,
I was say, except for
those actually end up being the only two that were not Brady related.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
They just wanted to go out together.
See, now I'm seeing Brady everywhere.
But this nurse also leaves a Z. It turns out, yeah, Brady's telling Z, all of them, to leave a Z because he wants to have a calling card. Because
he can't stop.
My favorite thing,
Won't
like,
stop.
you can't think of everything.
Yeah.
He still keeps that shit.
Yeah, the main character.
I'm pretty sure I
Brady the
highlighted
bad
it
guy.
because I was like,
oh, you can't think of everything.
Fucking guy. 3 books later.
But it is his weird part of acknowledging, like I said, the metaphysics of Stephen King here. They know that they're being assisted by a supernatural force that's pushing them to do the evil. But also, they don't beat themselves up like, I don't know, man. Like you say, it's all in God's hands. It's like, they think that it's all in the devil's hands or some shit. With these evil characters in Stephen King's books.
Alright, so. Sorry, I was looking for a quote.
I know where he says, literally. You can't think of everything.
Yeah, because it's his favorite fucking quote. So, where was I? So, they're, like, closing in on Brady. So, doing some cool online stuff.
You're reading too much Stephen King. You're talking like a boomer.
Doing something
After going on the interwebs.
That internet thing. They're able to start and by calling the guy that manages the liquidation of the company that made the tablets, or like bought out the company that made the tablets. They're able to find out who it is that bought the tablets, and all things are pointing to Frankie. Brady's
the
ex-friend.
And they know her because they came across her in the research.
Well, they actually
from the original.
Bill spoke to her when he went in to get Brady's like house info.
Yeah, that's how they got his actual house.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bill's able to get the address that these tablets were sent to, which is an apartment that Brady put Frankie up in. And when they go, they find that Frankie has a bullet. Well, sort of a bullet wound. How did that happen, you might ask? Well,
Frankie was what?
Frankie gets a visit the night before they go to visit her from Dr. Z. Dr. Z walks in asking her to finish up the last of the last part of the plan, which is they put this I don't know, it's like a relay machine or something. It's this thing that basically it'll find people that turn the tablets on.
Okay.
And
it pings it like a cell phone?
Sort of. It actually initiates an update so that the latest version of the software, the last version, or like the version Brady wants, the like super hypnotic version, is uploaded to the tablet as soon as it connects to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, when she turns that thing on, she's like, alright, pay me the last of my money. Her plan is to get paid, and then she's going to turn all this shit off. Because she knows, she already knows, she's like, too many things are pointing to Brady. The way that the program was written, the recipe, was exactly the way Brady would have wrote it. A lot of the things that, the way these two people speak are exactly the way Brady would speak.
There's weird little idioms. Wait, you were trying to say that the brainwashed guys also said you can't think of everything? No, right?
Well, they're Brady, so yes.
They actually said that phrase?
Yeah, because it's Brady speaking through them.
No, I know. Okay. Yeah. I got lost there.
Yeah, no. Like, if he says it, they're saying it. Because he's actually taking over.
I know, and he's still technically in bed like to everybody else. He's still a vegetable this whole time.
So at this point, what's happened is that Brady's initiating the last of his plan because he knows that they're onto him. So while he was in the hospital, he took over the doctor one more time. He actually had Library Al go to the doctor's house and kill the doctor's wife.
He's just pure zombie. He doesn't ever snap out of it. He doesn't do nothing.
So the more he takes over, the more zombie these people become. So Library Al is pretty pure zombie at this point.
Okay.
Like, Library Al's not sure who Library Al is anymore. He just knows himself as Z-Boy. So he has Z-Boy, while piloting him, kill the doctor's wife, and then tell the doctor that he needs to let Brady jump in. So he gives the doctor, the doctor has to look at a tablet. Brady takes over the doctor and leaves Z-Boy there, and has Z-Boy draw Z's all over the house. He literally draws one on the woman's forehead that was shot. Because he's a zombie, and for some reason, that's just...
Yeah, that's what zombies do.
It made sense to him.
I mean, if it's a calling card, it's a pretty damn good place.
Yeah, right. And then he goes to take a nap because he's tired from being taken over by Brady.
I imagine, yeah. Just gotta be sleeping and being like a zombie.
Dang it. So, Brady, while in the mind of the doctor, actually decides that he's going to take over. So he goes to Frankie's house, and he has her implement the program, and he tries to kill her by shooting her. What saves Frankie is that she had, under her very large shirt, a pack of cigarettes, a flask, and possibly one other thing. And he shot her with, I think it was a
38.
I think so.
All of these things and all these, it's like, it's the gun of choice to Mr. Stephen King.
He really loves that gun.
Yeah. Because it's like an older gun. Most people had it before 9mm.
You're gonna laugh at the last gun that he ends up introducing into this entire series.
AK-47.
You're not far.
It's a 50 cal.
You're not far. It's not an AK though. And it's not a 50 cal. Or, alright, I don't know the caliber, but
it's a big scary AR. Go ahead.
It's not.
Won't play gun game the whole time.
Anyway, dang. I think I have to sneeze again.
So what's with the sneezing?
So he basically has the computer, whatever. He tries to kill, he thinks he killed Frankie, and then he leaves knowing that he has the laptop that's connected to that computer, so he can hook up and see however many pings and whatever. Yeah. He then goes back to the hospital as the doctor sneaks in. And then after he snuck in, he actually decides, like, while he's in the doctor's mind, he like scrambles up and destroys the last remnants of what would be the doctor.
Okay.
And then he actually feeds like suicide, like a combo, like a suicide cocktail of medications to his body. He goes back into his body, forces himself to take the medication, and then hops back into the doctor.
Yeah, and is it okay?
And he's now officially taken over the doctor 100% and killed. So like the news comes out that Brady is dead.
Yeah, he died as a vegetable.
Yeah, but Hodges and Holly are pretty sure, along with Frankie, that he's alive, because he doesn't know Frankie survived the gunshot wound, and that
did the 38 hit the flask or something?
Yeah.
And it is. Come on, that's
and
a
that the next one, the next people that knocked on the door were Bill, Holly, and Jerome. So Bill actually has, because Frankie has like a bunch of weed and he's got pancreatic cancer, so he has Holly roll him a bunch of joints. And they basically
got neurotic Holly. Kept in a bubble her whole life, Holly.
Frankie was jealous. Frankie was like, "Why is she so good at this?" And actually, Holly admits, she's like, for people like me, like basically she admits like she's probably done some weed before
Yeah.
to help get the edge off.
Huh. Tell
Or
her
it was
mama.
it was at some psychologist or someone somewhere told her it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Because she's like in her 40s, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they treat her like a little kid.
No, she's like in her 40s.
Yeah.
So they drop Jerome and Frankie off at a hotel because it's been decided that they have to go after Brady, but it's too dangerous. They know Brady's gonna be out to get them.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill decides Jerome has too much to lose, and Jerome's like, "You can't do this, man. You're breaking up the band." And they're like, "You'll be fine. Stay in the hotel. You're to be safe." So him and Holly go after, and this is like a condensed version, but these are all the important parts that I can remember.
Yeah.
So him and Holly go after Brady. Now Dr. Z.
Dr. Z. Dr. Z.
While they go after him, Dr. Z tries to get online, and he knows that they're after him because while they were at Frankie's house, they took a knife and they just cut a bunch of the wires to that relay thing to stop it from going out. Because something else that happened is that a website that Brady set up is now active. It went from being like, oh, we're under construction to active, and it's called Z the End, because these are all Z tablets.
Yeah.
Like this is the whole point of the
the
freaking
brand
Z.
of the tablet is the Z.
Yeah. So, when you go to it, it's just like a funeral type. Like the website basically has like a funeral going on with like a faceless funeral, and it's just people dressed in black, like on the banner or whatever, and then it's like a chat, and basically Brady, before they're able to do anything, Brady actually has one person try to commit suicide. That one was a failure because it was a kid. Oh no. Is she waking up? He tried to get her to jump off the second floor of the building, but it had snowed heavily, so she just landed on a bunch of
people just
like,
listening and not watching, where we have the baby monitor, and so I'm just laughing at not Brady trying to kill a young child through psychic torture and hijacking, but that you were such on a roll. You were on such a good roll, and our little baby's moving around the baby monitor.
Oh, I better go take care of it. I'll be back.
I know. You think you'll be able?
I think I might be.
Okay. Maybe we'll quick pause. Yeah.
What's happened is that this site has gone live, and we don't know what it's for, except that all these people are starting to jump on. And what's happening is that Brady is trying to start a suicide snowball. So he fails with that first suicide, but we know of at least 2 suicides where he succeeds. One of them was this, it's now a young man, but he was a boy when he went to the concert, and he happens to be homosexual, and his dad works in construction, and he feels like his dad might not necessarily approve of his... What?
You've been saying, like the other one, the girl was ethnic, but you're saying it as if the people canceling people are like super far right. Like they don't even want to hear you say black or hear you say gay. Like, oh my god,
I don't know.
call him a gay.
Whatever. So he's gay. His dad works in construction. He feels that his dad doesn't approve of the way he lives. And what he does is he goes online, like the instructions are to go online, to zvn.com, and he tweets out to like go there, and he starts like basically he does this big social media. He had the other person do it too, where they're like going online and telling people that they should go to this website, that it'd be so good for them or whatever. And then he goes and like gets dressed in his mom's clothes.
What's the appeal of the website? What is the...
I don't remember, other than like it's everyone goes there and talks about how bad everything is, and they're all gonna like...
okay, so it's just Twitter.
Yeah, like it's just a form, and...
Yeah.
everyone's like,
Because it is
the
early
world's
internet.
not worth living.
It's supposed to be set before
sorry,
that.
you
right?
go to that website and there's subliminal messaging. As soon as you open the site,
Yeah,
there's
you're already being brainwashed. That's what I was
you're already being brainwashed,
gonna
and
say.
it's telling you to kill yourself.
Makes
That
sense.
that you will find peace. So there's a bunch of people on there that are like, yeah, it's right.
Tumblr,
like,
actually.
yeah, it's right. You're right. Like, we're gonna, we should just kill ourselves. And there's very few people that are like, this doesn't make sense. Life is worth living. Don't do it. So the two suicides are this kid that ends up putting on his mom's clothes, and he walks up to his dad because of the snow, his dad obviously isn't on the construction site. It's like doing paperwork, and like in the doorway to his dad's office, he pulls out his dad's gun and just like blows his own brains out in front of his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene ends with his dad. All you hear is his dad screaming. And then the other one was this like obese girl that she was like 300 pounds or some shit, and she knew that she should be on a diet, and Brady plays on her because she lives with her parents. They help support her, and he's like, you're just leeching off of them. Like, they can barely afford to feed you, you fat cow. Like, no one's gonna love you. You should just kill yourself.
So he's trying to be a good friend. Give her actionable life advice.
Yeah, she did. She took action on it.
Yeah, he didn't really... He closed it out wrong, but a lot of that speech was actually decent life. But did it actually worked on her? He
Yeah,
actually
she's
tricked
dead.
her?
Huh? She died.
But because he's in their mind? Or
I think, yeah.
He's not actually in their mind, though, making them do that, right? Is he?
Yes.
I mean, alright,
No.
then I'm not even really being...
So, like, what he does is that he opens a tablet, and then everyone connected to this game, he can see them. Like, instead of seeing fish swimming across the screen
he's like
in his
looking
mind,
through the screen.
and he actually sees the people are like the fish, and he can like enter their minds through this game.
This is a
So
wacky
if you
demon.
like open this game while he's on there, he'll be able to find you and like enter your mind no matter how far away he is. So they turn off that relay machine so that he can no longer have new people, but at this point he's got like 246 people that have hooked up to this thing. So potentially 246 people that he can use. And all of these people are telling every other people to go to this website that is also telling people to kill themselves.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to start a kill yourself snowball.
Yeah, I like how I'm gonna, like, my head's like, really? This is a little far-fetched here. But I'm like, the Moonies, I think they call them. They're all supposed to kill themselves and go to some comet, Haley Bop, that was coming by. They were all wearing the Nikes. It's like a famous thing in the 90s.
Well, he's
there's
like
bigger
obsessed
cults
with
that all kill
suicide, and
themselves.
he
Yeah.
actually looked. So all the cults that you just mentioned are actually mentioned in the book
really?
as
Okay.
like people that he studied or, like liked.
Yeah.
And then also one of the cases is that I think it was in like a different country where a bunch of teenagers, like those become his like kind of prime suspects, like these kind of teenagers that they were 13 when they went to the concert. Now they're like, 17 or 15 or
That's his prime demographic, his prime target.
yeah, his prime target is
Okay.
teenagers because he knows that they're the most susceptible.
Yeah, to this Tumblr.
Yeah.
That's
and
what I mean. Like, oh,
he
this is a
saw
little
in, like,
silly story,
Sweden
no?
or some
Like,
shit. Like
it's
a
not-
bunch of teenagers saw, like something similar happen, but not through Brady's psychicness. But a bunch of teens had gotten around that it was just like a suicide fad that went around, and a bunch of teenagers killed themselves.
Yeah.
Because of it. So he knew it's possible. It's just a matter of like getting
Being intentional with it.
yeah, and targeting them, because teenagers are also like they're the most susceptible. They're young.
Yeah.
They don't know who they can turn to.
That's what I mean. Somebody gets stuck on the fishy story part seems a little funny, but I'm like, but why? I mean, the way that psychic powers work at all is it's not like it's a super logical thing.
It was also the program that was, like, even though he's putting ideas in some of them, he only has access to 200 and something. Like, the other people going onto the website, it's just the actual website.
But
it like
that's subliminal
flashes
programming,
blue
right? Yeah. Okay.
and starts to tell you like to
Mhm.
kill yourself, basically.
But I guess that's what I mean. Like, we all think that with social media. Like, you got to start wondering, is this done on purpose? Like, how is it so good at bringing about an effect that it didn't intend to bring?
yeah,
At a certain point, you go like, okay, well, you've been made aware of it, and there's no changes, and maybe the simpler answer is these sites want that. Whether it's sexualizing young kids with TikTok or something, it's like, wow, this happens on accident so well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And Tumblr, for real, with the depression and all kinds of the weirdest fucking movements and beliefs and like things that just... That's why I said Twitter at first, but I was like, really, this is more the Tumblr.
that's why our
where
baby
it's
won't be on social media.
The
till
original
she's,
brain rot. Yeah. But yeah, so he's just... But like you said, too, so even if you give these companies benefit of the doubt that this is just on accident, somebody's going to come in and do this shit on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I just love. Like, you don't think our own... The CIA was literally working on these things in the 80s.
Yeah, like
when video games weren't even a thing.
Psychicness aside, what Brady's doing is 100% possible.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't been, like you said, implemented already in
Mm-hmm.
its own ways and shit. So where was I? So Brady is trying to act upon the few people that he has at his disposal, knowing that Bill is probably on his heels.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that he's been removed access because either Frankie's alive or Bill figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's leaning towards Bill figuring this shit out. He's not quite sure if Frankie's alive or not. I think he knows she is, but he suspects that Bill's involved because he's so paranoid about Bill at this point. So Brady has a plan. His plan is that the doctors all had this hunting lodge that they all used to go to. And the hunting lodge has got guns, it's got this, it's got that. So Brady's idea is that he's gonna wait for Bill there. It's out in the boonies.
Okay.
It's not even in the city.
Yeah.
So Bill, through the nurses, of course, finds out about this hunting lodge. So him and Holly drive there. There's so much snow that he actually has to rent. I want to say it's a Ford Explorer, because that was what they had that could go through the snow. That had like 4-wheel drive and
Yeah.
And then he doesn't know that Brady is preparing for him. So Brady actually ends up grabbing a bunch of the hunting gear and going out, and like he basically is camping out waiting for Bill. Like he leaves the lights on in the hunting lodge, and he has a scar.
He has a SCAR rifle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Okay.
I thought you would enjoy that.
I do enjoy that.
And the doctors actually have it illegally automatic.
I just knew fucking Stephen King could not leave this alone from his little main, like...
They overrode it or something.
Oh my god.
Like,
the hunting lodge has a full auto SCAR. Like, this is... Yeah, we're playing Call of Duty. We're talking like this. You played too much Call of Duty here, Stephen King. For real, some of these writers does take away, and people act like this is a weird...
It's because they don't
conservative
know.
thing.
And like,
yeah, I'm like, but look,
like
I would be just as annoyed if somebody was...
really do? Like, come on.
Yeah, if somebody was writing a character from like I don't know, a certain ethnicity or something that was totally just made no sense. You're like, what? Nobody talks like that. Nobody does that. So yeah, scars are cool.
Like, it was
Nobody
cool
would do
until I was like, oh, okay, and then he was like, oh,
and they even modded it to make it fully automatic.
I was
can hear it in the audiobook narrator voice.
It was so dumb. Like, he literally at some point.
And you're gonna keep that out of range. I just love none of it makes it. You're gonna keep that out of public, and not public, but other people are at this.
They literally talk about
lodge.
how like they're taking other nurses and shit there and having affairs and like people go in and out. And
yeah.
Anyway.
It's just funny. It is a sort of like a moral view porn. Like, yeah, that guy did the thing. Like, see the gun people? They do. They can't just not mod their guns.
Wait till
to be
I tell you
automatic.
the line that I explicitly
Oh,
remember.
no. Go ahead.
So, Bill and Holly drive up to the... They don't actually drive up to the lodge. They, like, they're walking around the snow. Bill's like tells her to wait in the car, but she can't. So he's got the Glock, and she's got his old revolver. So they're walking through the snow, and he sees the lights on. This is where you could say that the pancreatic cancer might have affected, because he swears that if it wasn't for the pancreatic cancer, he would have noticed that there were footprints out of the house, that the lights were on, but that someone had clearly left. But him and Holly they're gonna go in, and they actually get jumped by Brady outside while they're kind of like coming up with the game plan. Because Brady had night vision goggles on.
But he's in this other body, right?
I mean, yeah. He's in the Dr. Z body.
Yeah. So
he like hits Holly on the head. I believe with the scar. I don't remember with what. He doesn't shoot her. He just like hits her with the butt of the gun.
Yeah. But it's a big ass butt.
And he has Bill pick her up and carry her inside. And then once they're inside, has Holly on the ground unconscious, and he's starting his villain speech. And he's like, "Oh, Bill, like, is this Holly?" And he's like, "No, it's just some secretary." And he's like, "That you convinced to come on a suicide mission?" It's like, "This has to be Holly." And he's like, "No, I swear." And he's like, he actually looks in Holly's jacket, per Holly being a crazy person. She has her name written and her address, and like in case her jacket gets lost.
Yeah, please return.
Yeah.
He has a couple blunts in there.
She's got like OCD.
Yeah.
So he's like, "All right," and then he's like, "Bill, does she have a gun on her?" And like he's just asking questions, and Bill's trying to dodge it, knowing that Brady might do something to her, trying to hurt her. And he's like, he's got his like foot on her head or some shit, and he's like pointing the scar at her throat, and he's like, "You know, if I pull the trigger, I'll just be able to shoot her head off, right?" Like basically saying that like because it's an automatic, he'll actually be able to like sever her head. Yeah, that's not
well. It's not because it's automatic. It's because it's fucking 308. It's shot at 1 inch away.
Well, it's
yeah, he's saying he basically chop her head off by like the machine gun fire, like a like a chainsaw.
I almost wish that I had.
Yeah, it's like that's why I was asking what body he's in. I was like, I love this little
FN Scar 17S with the pistol grip.
Yeah.
I literally highlighted it, so I would be able to tell you exactly what it was.
Stephen Kingville like nailed it. I just did my gun research. Like, it's a real thing. It's all real stuff. But I'm like, so, he had to do some research. It's not common. Like I said, it's
capable of firing 650 rounds a minute and illegally converted to full auto by proctologist who is a gun nut. It is a Rolls Royce of grease guns.
Of what guns?
Grease guns.
Grease guns. Oh,
look,
that's crazy. That's funny. Who the hell would call it that? I don't know if he's right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I did the research. I'm like, nobody would call it. A grease gun is like a stupid little submachine gun. But anyways, from World War II. Why would you call it a gun? Anyways, that's not the point of the book. Point is, though, it does distract from the writing when he tries to inject things. I know it's a big thing, and Holly, of course, don't want to distract here. But that's not as goofy as it sounds. It would blow her head off.
I mean, yeah.
At that range.
I knew that it was going to blow her head off, but like...
Yeah, but like you said, I think what Stephen King might mean by that is he's picturing like a little... I think
even he was going to like saw her head off. I was like, unless I misread
but be so accurate
I almost want to like
No, I'm saying that is a connotation that is implied there, but he would hide behind like, no, it would. It's like, yeah, but it would with a single shot. I mean, a shotgun would do that, what he's visualizing better.
I mean, the other kid clearly
the old Joe
blew
Biden
his
shotgun
brains out.
would do it. 11?
The other kid blew his brains out, no problem with it.
Well, I'm saying like blowing chunks apart and blowing things apart. Like,
I got you.
I know, that's pretty cool.
All right, so we're now in a situation where it's Bill, Brady, and Holly's unconscious. What Brady does is tell Bill to go sit at this chair and take out. He has one tablet left. Or he has. It's like one of the. I think it's what he calls tablet 0, which is like the tablet
His
he uses.
original one? Yeah.
Yeah. He knows that if he can get Bill susceptible to being hypnotized, probably
Mhm.
in that close proximity, he'll just be able to jump into his mind.
Okay.
So, sorry. It's getting late. Yeah, he's trying to get Bill to look at the tablet, and
Look at it.
basically somewhere in all of this stupid, evil plan talking supervillain speech.
Yeah, supervillain
and trying
giving
to
his
get
speech
Bill.
away. Okay.
Holly, of course, wakes up.
Happy slapper.
She doesn't have the happy slapper,
Yeah.
and I believe her gun's been taken, but
Her glizzy is gone.
I don't remember how. She basically like pushes him or some shit. So her and Bill like run out of the house. I don't remember what it is that she does, but they're able to break out of the house. They're alive.
Mm-hmm.
But they can hear Brady. He's up and he's got the scar and he's coming for them. So as Brady's gonna shoot, they hear an engine of some motorized vehicle, and it turns out, because in order to get to this hunting lodge, they didn't know where to go, so they stopped at this like gas station car mechanic place to gas up, and they were asking the guy questions, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's the doctor's hunting lodge up there. My kid that works here, he repaired the roof to the hunting lodge next door to them." So they give him directions, and he's like, "It's gonna be snowing. Do you want to borrow a snowmobile?" And they're like, no, we're gonna take the car, but thank you. And then Bill actually leaves his card, and he's like, "If you don't hear back from me, call the cops." So when
Call
they
the
hear this
ATF.
motorized vehicle, they're like, "What is this?" It turns out Jerome, he gets a phone call from Barbara, and it seems like, even though, because Barbara,
Guess
one of the
who's
last things
back?
she tells Holly, because she actually, it's cute, her parents are like in the hospital with her, and they call Holly, but Holly's they're gonna call Holly, but Holly's going up because she needed to talk to Barbara. But Barbara's actually asking for Holly. This is like after she tried to commit suicide. So she's like talking to Holly, and she's like, "I know that you were," because Holly was actually like basically Baker acted twice. And she's like, "Did you ever try to kill yourself?" And she's like, "Yes." Like, very matter of fact, like, "I did." And I don't remember if she admitted that she chickened out or if she just failed both times, but she's like, "I did." I don't want to talk about the details,
So
but
the word is going to be a weak point.
I'm happy I didn't.
He's going to play on all this for sure. Easiest hack.
Barbara's like, I don't know why, but like, I wanted to kill myself. And I still feel like I can feel his voice in my head. Like, I still feel the slime of him is there. So when she calls Jerome, she's freaking out. She's like, "Jerome, it's a trap. It's a trap, and he's gonna kill Bill and Holly. You have to go to them. Like, I don't know where you are, but you need to go save them." Because I guess when she told Holly that she still had this connection with Brady didn't realize that these people could actually backhack or like still sense his intentions or something.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the book hints at.
That's really, I like that a lot.
So Jerome,
He's playing with their soul. Like you said, they're gone at a certain
like
point.
they lose if Brady takes over your, like, it's one thing when he injects thoughts, but it's another when he takes over. And like, once he's been in once, he doesn't have to ask to go in again. He just can gain access. He like he gets a key. So Jerome basically goes to that same chop shop. Not rents, but the guy lends him a giant like snowmobile tank. Like it has those tank, what are they called?
This reminds me
Treads.
of this reminds me of The Shining.
Yeah, it has very Shining-esque. I love that you remembered that. It echoes The Shining so well, in that like someone shows up in some type of snowmobile at the last minute, and Jerome, like, because Brady didn't see it coming, Jerome just runs the doctor's body over. So Brady's stuck in the doctor's body, and
Trapped, pinned, but
It's now been rolled, like his intestines are out.
Mm.
He's like been split in half from this track.
But where does he drive it into? Into the...
Cause they're outside. Brady's trying to kill.
Oh, this whole speech is outside?
No, it was inside. But remember, Holly woke up,
Yeah.
and she's able to like.
From being hit in the head with the scar.
Yeah,
With the
so she's
big
able to
rifle.
like knock Brady over, and so
Yeah.
her and Bill are trying to run away, but Brady comes out with the scar, and he's gonna like.
Yeah, okay,
Shoot them.
okay. That's right, I got that. Okay.
And then
So they're just standing around and he gets plowed over?
yeah, like they're basically thinking this is the way they're gonna die, and he just gets plowed over by this thing.
Hmm. You had a full auto scar. You
He
should have
actually
shot that shit
shoots-
to pieces.
Sorry, that's the thing. He actually I missed it. I forgot that detail. He actually hears it. He turns around and tries to shoot at it, but it was such a big. It looked like a tank type
Hmm.
of snowmobile. I forgot what it's called, like a tack
Yeah.
cat or something. I don't remember.
Hmm.
But Jerome actually jumps out because, like, I think the glass breaks and everything from Brady
Hmm.
trying to shoot him.
Yeah.
But because Jerome jumps out, there's absolutely no way to turn the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, it just keeps going.
Yep. So it just runs Brady over. So
But
Brady's
he's not dead. He's all spilled out.
he's
guts
all
out.
spilled out and dying. So he's like has. I don't remember if they put a gun in his hand or. I don't-
And then just leave him. Let
Bill
him do
Bill was gonna leave him, but Holly felt that
it. Really?
they should let him commit suicide. Like, let
Mhm.
Suicide Prince go the way he made everybody else go.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's been rolled over, he's like having trouble bringing the gun to his head even. So Holly actually helps like put the gun towards his head, and then his last trick is that using his telekinetic power, he pulls the trigger without pulling the trigger
What do you mean?
Like-
Oh.
with his mind.
Okay.
It freaks Holly out.
Yeah, yeah.
This is his last scare.
He like makes the firing pin go without the trigger? What do you mean?
No, like
He uses the trigger is pulled, but just not by his finger.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, that was obvious. I was overthinking
No,
it.
you're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of Brady.
Yeah.
Hodges ends up going and getting treatment for his cancer. He doesn't beat it.
Yeah.
And on his tombstone they put "End of Watch" because that's what they used to say to
Mhm.
the police that were actually retired.
Okay.
Oh, I remember, because Hodges. One of the things that happens is that Brady's so excited because Hodges, in order to save Holly, is looking at the tablet, and he's actually becoming hypnotized. And Brady's so excited because he can feel Brady, like, seeping into his mind, and he can feel himself losing total control. Like, he can feel Brady just creeping in
Mm-hmm.
because you can actually feel the
Yeah.
like
In your mind.
yeah in your brain hole. You can
Yeah.
feel the fingers of Brady starting to creep in and open the door and like
I imagine he's researched this, but this is what you hear from people that claim that psychic stuff like this is real,
it's
but also
creepy.
alien and also spirit/demon type things.
But his phone goes off and it's like a joke throughout the entire book because Holly, as a joke, set up his text message alert to be it's glass breaking and a bunch of kids cheering
Yeah.
from like a movie,
Hmm.
but basically it's like a home run type thing where
Oh,
like
okay.
the ball goes through a glass window and the kids cheer for the home
Mhm.
run. And so his phone goes off and it's such a jarring
Yeah.
sound. And the text ends up being that it snaps him out of it, but Brady also is like confused because he was in Hodges' brain and now he's lost control out of nowhere.
They're both bamboozled.
And Holly is up, so they kind of use that opportunity to like, I don't remember if they push Brady or I don't remember what they do, but they get away from him. They run outside. So the text ends up being a happy birthday text from his daughter because Hodges turned
Oh, wow.
70.
And they're estranged.
But she loves him.
Yeah.
So it was her wishing him a happy birthday.
That's cute.
Huh?
That was pretty cute.
Right?
Like, I pick on Stephen King's weirdness. Like I told you off camera, like, there's a whole esoteric community. I think he knows how this shit works, man, and he really like this horror that he can tap into, and it's way deeper. But then Stephen King himself, especially online, he said to Twitter and all that, like he seems to be just a thoroughly, I don't know, not just at the whims of, like they say, the current thing sometimes. But then he taps into all this other stuff, so.
No, that was really...
It was cool to see that it was well written, and you said it was pretty well paced and action packed, and right.
So.
And you like this one the most?
This book was just constantly moving.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're showing me parts where it jumps. It's literally
like.
Oh, that the paragraph, that even the.
And you're in Brady's
physical fonts.
You're in Brady's mind so much.
Yeah.
No, I ended up. I'm not sure if that's true.
It's a tablet thing.
Yeah, and
technically
the baby changed the size of the text on my tablet.
Oh my god, she's over here spooking you.
I was like, wow. Because I realized it, and I changed the text size back, and I was like, damn. I think my kid pulled one on me.
That's funny.
8 months old she is.
Yeah, but still, it is, like I said, Stephen King wrote this one well.
But this one, compared to both the first and the second, this one is just like, oh man, like from the minute that you start the book, everything's just snowballing. And it's not like the second one where he's kind of like getting into all these new characters. Like, no, like you better know, like for this book, I admit if you didn't know these characters intimately well from the first and second book, especially the first one, you're going to be a little lost, because he really doesn't do a lot of this, like,
oh yeah, for sure,
going backward and like re-explaining, and no, like it's just like, this is it, like Brady's back and everything is full motion, because it's everything from like Brady starting to kill people to like you being brought in, like, again, unlike the other book, the second one, where had all this like lag and like character setup and like, oh, this character, they go into like the background of the parents,
their home life and everything. Like,
yeah. I wasn't sure it was super necessary. In this one, it's just straight up Brady. You don't even really get into like Brady and sleeping with his mom. It's just Brady.
Yeah. No,
Brady
you gotta know that already.
Doing all this crazy Brady ass shit.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, he's wilding out. He out for revenge.
I told you, he was invading people's minds. I'm making fun of the stereotype of this character, like this type of nurse that just seems to be, in real life, I'm saying.
That is the kind of nurse, by the way,
but like,
that he ends up having drinks with, where she's like, yeah.
But like that are on their shit though, like for being ridiculous, over the top, and all this.
She was like, I get why she left. I don't know, like they're trying to push me in that position, and I don't want to be in it.
Yeah. You
should investigate that doctor, because I don't want nothing.
And whatever happened with him?
I don't want that smoke.
Or that is the body he dies in,
That is the body he dies in.
Yeah. But there's a whole, I'm sure he's working on it. There's a whole series there on what the hell was that plant? How did he like I said, he just casually mentioned, oh yeah, he invented a serum that makes you have psychic powers.
Yeah, he named it and everything.
He named it, really? Yeah, he had a whole...
yeah. I forgot, like, in his computer or something. It had a name. And Brady even tells him, he's like, I don't know if it was because of your medication or not, but I have powers now. Yeah.
Which, like we said, I don't think that's true, but I do think he's trying to play with, like, I don't know, you have genetic potential in bodybuilding, and, like...
Yeah, and I think he definitely wanted it to have no out, like, for the people that could be like, oh, psychic stuff isn't real.
Oh, that because it's this tech. I don't know. If you don't like it, then you're not going to think some serum can do it, some injection.
I honestly don't know. Unless he just did it so that... I don't know.
But with it and all this, there's so much supernatural stuff in Stephen King. That's why I was surprised. I was saying when we read the first one, that I was like, I don't really see how it fits in his like universe. Remember, I asked you, I was like, they're all supposed to be in the same universe, right? With the same, like I say, the same metaphysics, the same rules for how the supernatural world works, or just the natural world works. But his includes.
He says it's all in the same universe.
Yeah. No, I always thought that's what it was. And with stuff like it and all these psychological and these mental aspects and
Coincidentally, the next book I want to read is called Institute.
Oh,
I have one Stephen King
Think it's
book that I
connected?
have that I started that I didn't finish,
well,
but I felt
finished
it
Holly,
was,
right?
Yeah, I finished Holly, but
Yeah.
there's this book called Fairy Tale. It has nothing to do with Hodges.
You didn't finish it, that's for sure.
No, I didn't finish it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
I know, it's so interesting. I mean, it's so damn long. People don't
I just
get.
felt
I think it's 50 hours or some shit on Audible, which like most books are around 8 to 9, 10 maybe.
I felt it was kind of like the second book of Hodges, just long.
What,
and
just unnecessarily drawn out?
unnecessarily drawn out, winded.
I
and,
want to
like,
try it just to see, cause
I might give it another chance.
Yeah.
But
it's such a commitment.
honestly, he's got better work.
Yeah, but what's the other? The Institute?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet. It's called Institute, and I believe it has some psychic stuff in it. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, just from the name, sounds like
Um,
it's connected to this guy.
I know that it's got some murder mystery type.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this is the window that's not real. It's got some murder mystery type stuff happening. So, interested in that. I'm currently on the second book of Foundation.
Yeah,
Whether I'm gonna read the third one right after or not, I mean, I might. I probably will.
I know.
I probably will.
I was telling her, I get it. You're not gonna read all 7 that are connected, but maybe
But I'll
the 3.
I'll probably read the main
Yeah.
main body of Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll read like the prelude and forward.
And I doubt they're gonna be super necessary. Like if we come back to this weeks or months later,
Let me
we're
tell
gonna
you
be
right
lost.
now.
That's true. You can look it up on your thing.
On my thing.
Ooh, right in the window.
Wait, first
I
of all,
didn't finish it all, but I liked you telling it. I think it. I don't know. I know that you could critique. Is it an homage? Is it a reference to The Shining, or does he have this weird? Is he recycling the ending? But I think because he's trying to tell these tales, I mean, the whole overall 3 books you have where the characters, like George Lucas famously, like, it's like poetry, it rhymes. Like, what happens to these characters, it rhymes. It's almost archetypal, like, he's making his own little universe here with these reoccurring themes and reoccurring, even specifics like that with the not snowmobile, but like you said, whatever the hell that was, snow vehicle.
I was just looking to see if there were any quotes I really liked.
Yeah, you can't plan for everything, right? How's it go? I always forget.
Oh,
Brady's-
you can't think of everything.
Yeah, you can't think of everything. That's all. I know it doesn't sound like much, but in the book, it's pretty funny. This guy will be a freaking psycho, and Stephen King does a good job of putting you in this guy's mind of being such a nervous, weird, self-loathing maniac. And then he'll plan out like how to kill dogs, and then he'll like think of everything, but then he'll forget one thing, and he just lets himself off the hook. Like,
And
oh,
he's
you
always
can't think of
like,
everything.
You can't think of everything.
It's like, but then you hate yourself and nitpick a million other issues in your personality. I'm saying it's probably pretty realistic for how these guys work.
Probably.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do love that his character is pretty consistent. Like, there's literally a part where he's like moving forward with like the grand plan, and I remember he was like, "Can't think of everything." I was like, "Oh, of course you can't, bro."
Yeah. Even as a psychic
How dare I?
demon monster. Did they get back to him being like possessed by this greater evil, like something above him?
No. Brady just dies.
Yeah. Because I don't know, I got that vibe. He was being a puppet too, the way that he's invading other people's minds and manipulating them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, something was jerking him around.
Oh, that he actually has Z-Boy. One of the reasons that they're investigating Brady too is because he has Z-Boy right to, like, he just is such a fucking cocky little dick. He has Z-Boy send a message to Hodges through Kermit on the blue umbrella, under the blue umbrella.
Oh, okay.
And, like, the only one that knows that stupid username is Brady.
Yeah.
So Z-Boy, who's been leaving Z's all over town on suicides,
Mm-hmm.
sends him a message that, and all it says is, he's not done with you yet. I was
Yeah.
like, bro.
Which is pretty good.
Bro.
That's pretty good.
I mean, I get it, but also, bruh.
Yeah. Yeah, where's the
Like,
tweens? The
can't
tweens
think
that
of
he's trying to
everything.
kill. They're like,
Like-
brah.
He literally later was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
Just for messing with him?
He just wanted to mess with Hodges, yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking with him.
No, of course. He's not the stablest dude. If books 1 and 2 didn't expel that out with his little ball bearing filled chair.
Yeah,
I love
one of the things that they talk about is single people are twice as likely to commit suicide, divorced people 4 times as likely. Oh, Holly was okay. I really do. So like the Holly book made me like Holly less, but
Huh.
this book, because I read it before Holly, I was like, Holly is such a fun character. And
Yeah.
she literally, at some point, it's referenced that she was, because they're like, oh, haven't you heard of this band? And she was like, I was always a Billy Joel fan, Michael Bolton. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's the kind of music I like.
That's right up your alley. Oh my god, now you can solve crime. Now you can go fill a sock full of ball bearings
That's okay.
and take out a demon-possessed psychic.
Yeah, never so good as what you don't see is what Library Al tells Hodges in a different book.
Yeah.
It turns out that was Brady
Hmm.
talking to him, or Library Al losing his mind.
Yeah, that's true too. What does it ever come back to? How does one lose the soul? Like, oh, then they're really gone. Like, what does that mean?
Well, he actually so like you actually see there's an entire scene, because he says that whenever he takes over, he like feels pieces of these people like disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
So the last time that he takes over the doctor's body, he searches and he finds the last remnants of the doctor's like memory. And he's like, for some reason, it's always like childhood memories that supposedly are the last thing you remember. So
Yeah.
it makes sense that would be the last thing he would squish. And he said that he just went in and he like squished and jumbled and like ripped it apart until it just didn't exist, and he could feel the doctor like slipping.
And do they? Yeah, they feel themselves losing that memory.
They must, but they must not know to what or why. And especially at
Yeah.
that point, like, the doctor had been utilized so many times
Yeah.
that there was he would become a shell of the person he was. Even his wife was onto him.
But
Like,
they feel like something is perverting, twisting that their own memory, their own feelings on
like,
it.
Al, who he also abused as far as entering the body of and taking over. When the cops find Al, because the cops end up getting called out to the house where Brady has staged the death of the doctor by shooting into the car and leaving some of his blood. He like cut the doctor's hand and left droplets of blood. When the cops get there, they find Al upstairs, and he's just like he doesn't even super speak. He just kind of like he speaks, but nothing makes sense. Like he's like a kid, or he's like
Okay.
like he's gonna end up actually getting the crazy house instead of jail, because
he actually uses mine.
like,
Yeah, it reminds me of some of the Lovecraft stuff I'm reading now
like
too.
his thoughts are so disconjointed, and
Yeah.
like he just doesn't make sense. And we have no idea if Al ever comes back, or if we do, it was such a small note, I don't remember.
Yeah. No, I was curious on that. Yeah, you think we call it here? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Oh wait, I was gonna tell you one thing, but we don't.
No, I mean, yeah, go.
As far as foundation is concerned,
Oh, okay.
there's Book 1, Book 2, which is Foundation and Empire, Book 3, which is Second Foundation, Book 4, which is Foundation's Edge, and Book 5, which is Foundation and Earth. Then the two last ones are Prelude to Foundation and Forward to Foundation.
So it's really 5,
Yeah,
at least in order.
at least. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do the first 3.
Yeah, whatever you think.
Because it is interesting, because in Book 2, I did highlight a quote where, I don't know if you want to get into that, but when...
I know, yeah, we'll do that next one.
Yeah.
We'll just call it here.
Okay.
We'll pick it up in the next talk.
I'm highlighting more stuff.
Yeah.
But
that
so
was
I'm
a
realizing it is kind of cool if I'm
Wild
able to
ride. What do they
reference
call
it.
this series? These 3 books? The Bill
This is the Bill Hodges trilogy,
yeah.
by Stephen King,
Yeah.
which is Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, and End of Watch.
I like it.
End of Watch and Mr. Mercedes are the better. Mr. Mercedes is just the OG, starts
Yeah.
everything off, and I think really well written,
Yeah.
very, very nice flow, easy to follow, nice beach read. Finders Keeper, necessary, but
Yeah. maybe not
boring
so long, maybe not
comparatively,
separate.
honestly.
Yeah.
And then End of Watch is
Best one of the 3. From what you told me before, I think.
it's hard for me to say best
Over
because like
Mercedes.
Mr. Mercedes was
Yeah.
so good too, but I
Yeah.
would just say different and so good. And honestly, as far as like wrapping up the trilogy, so beautifully wrapped up.
Mm-hmm. I know, I felt like died pretty abrupt, but I don't know. I guess he would.
It's sad. He tried. Like there's even a scene where they go and they're celebrating his birthday, and he's like getting treatment, but I think he lasted a little while, and then
Yeah.
that was it. He put
Mhm.
up a good fight, but
Yeah.
and it's cute. Holly doesn't go to the funeral because she, even from the first book, we know she doesn't do funerals well.
That's
So
right.
Jerome meets her out. Jerome meets her at Hodges' grave, and
Okay.
she's
Yeah,
like
after.
planting a little flower on his grave, and it's
Uh,
cute.
Yeah. I was
And she
gonna say.
misses him, and she's like, I know he like leaves her the company.
Oh, okay. The
Yeah.
investigation.
So that's where Holly, the book Holly picks
Yeah.
up
Okay. Picks
around
up with
there.
her.
There's also technically a short story,
Hmm.
or I don't know if it's a short story, but there is one more story, Holly related, that I have found.
Oh, really? It's not a fanfic.
No, it's the one I was telling you, because like, so you start reading Holly, and you feel like you miss something because they keep referencing this event that happened where Barbara and Jerome almost died or something. So you're like, when did this happen? And like it's referenced, like if you read it, you know. So I'm like, man. So I went kind of looking for it, and I think I found it.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
So I'll let you know if I found it for real.
Okay.
But that means I have to buy one more book.
But you did finish Holly, right?
Yeah, I did finish
Yeah.
Holly.
Okay. So we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
The sooner the better, because I think the more books I read, the further I get.
Yeah.
I'll lose certain details.
Oh, I know.
And I started getting better about highlighting now,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't realize I was going to be talking about every book I read now.
Yeah.
So,
I'm liking it.
yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
See you in the next one.
Yeah.
Sounds good. See
Like,
ya.
Follow, subscribe,
Do all the stuff.
whatever.
Yeah. See you soon.